So tonight I'm gonna build, like I was saying, I'm gonna build a simple app with the new Xcode because I'm curious to play with the new Xcode. And yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Brad. I've been building iPhone apps for a while now. I have 7 apps on the App Store that make me a tiny little bit of passive income. How long have I been making apps? What's my oldest? I pushed 5 years. Okay, so I've been making iPhone apps for at least, it's longer than 5 years. Does it say when I made this repo? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I've been making apps for a while. I like to imagine that I know what I'm doing. But we'll find out tonight live on stream. So I was figuring I was just gonna make like a to-do list app. So just going down here. Oh, I didn't want to do. I forgot I have 2 monitors going. All right, so bring up Xcode. In theory. There we go. All right, let's make a new project. I was gonna make a to-do list app. As far as inspiration goes, let's look at to-do list app iPhone. Oh yeah, remember this app? Create, that's a nifty idea. Here's what a to-do list. Oh look, Xcode crashed already. That's interesting. But Xcode's here. Xcode crashed, but is also here. That's strange. Super interesting. Okay, anyway, so yeah, you got some stuff and some dots. That's what a to-do list looks like inside Notes. That's what a to-do list looks like in some other app. There's, I mean, it's a list. It's a list. It's a thing that iPhones are really good at doing simply. So anyway, so iOS app looks right to me. Oh look, we're getting little music notifications up there. I probably want to turn on Do Not Disturb, right? How do you do that anymore? You do that. Let's say streaming. Let's see if how I set that up. All right, okay, we're making an app. We're gonna call this. Okay, well, we're just gonna stick with my normal process. What does it mean to do? What's a Gaelic? Because I've been naming all my apps Gaelic words. What is a Gaelic word for? I mean, they're talking about a Gaelic word for to do, but what's the notion of to do? It's like a thing that you need to accomplish, or a list of goals. What's a Gaelic word for goal? Brioc. I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. Brioc. This is a good site. Gaelic word stuff. Oh, what's up, Brendan? My viewer count is not accurate, I think, anymore. So hopefully I'm not too late to seeing your message. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Cockshot. Okay, well that's goal, mark, objective, pin, stake, target. Okay, so Spreoc sounds like the word we want to use. Let's see how it's actually pronounced. Cockshot. I should just name the app Cockshot. I don't know why not.
Spruck.
Oh, I don't have my headphones on.
Spruck.
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 Spreoc.
Spruck.
Spruck. Okay, well at least it's pronounced. Unlike every other Gaelic word I've used in my apps, it it's pronounced like it says it. So we'll just name Spriok. I'm going to do SwiftUI. We're going to use Swift. I'm not going to do any testing because I don't test any of my iOS apps, which is probably a bad thing, but I'm, you know, small time or whatever. Storage. We are going to use SwiftData, but we're not going to do it at first. So we're going to add it later because that might just be a fun challenge. Yep. Create a new, well, create a folder. Spriok. If I accidentally dox myself somehow, please let me know. Spriok's in a folder named Spriok. Big fan of that. So someday we'll have a little preview of our app and we can start mocking stuff up. In the meantime, let's get our screen situated a little bit. Put this over here. And I'll put this over here because we'll probably want this. I wonder, there's docs in Xcode somewhere. Let's find this. Developer documentation. So we've got developer documentation over here and a browser window. Okay. Fuck off menu bar. Okay, there we go. This here. Here. Got a lot of density going on here. Stream. Okay. Okay, so it's already not showing us a preview because just how fucking Xcode is, I guess, sometimes. Come on, show me something. Do something. It's probably like doing some other shit somewhere that it's not telling me about. Let me switch files. Here we go. Okay, something's happening. There we go. All right, we got the app up. Okay, so I was curious to see if this documentation thing over here has like SwiftUI stuff in it. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so we might not need Google all that much. I'm gonna set this back to my beautiful face advertising my GitHub profile. Okay, anyway, so our base app, let me make this font bigger. Base app that it gives us is very basic. Just have the hello world. But what we want is we want like a to-do list. What's this about a cock shot? When I was looking up a name for this to-do list app, I found I came to the conclusion that a synonym for to do is like goal or something, and so I looked up what Gaelic word there is for goal, and it gave me Spriok, and then in this reverse search it says cockshot also means Spriok. Sprock. I don't know, I already said how to cockshot, cockshy. What the fuck does cockshot mean? Okay, well, I should have expected. I should have expected what that was going to come up with on Google. All right, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so we want to get rid of this hello world stuff, and what we really want is is a list. So let's just change this into a list. All right, and our list is going to be a series of things, with words on them and dots you can touch. So we'll just start real simple. We'll start with we'll do this. We'll do this without the colors or whatever, All right, so we're gonna have an H stack, which is a way that you can put stuff in a horizontal stacky. Oh, like it gives us a little boilerplate for funsies. Hello world. We don't want that. That's oh, I wonder, can you? So I'm already gonna try out some of the. I don't know if this works like GitHub Copilot. I should be able to do. Let's do this. I'm gonna fill something in. Okay, well, it filled in some bullshit. That's 100% not anything like we want. All right, so that sucks. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the bad way, and then we're gonna do it the better way. And we're gonna we're just gonna put some text in here. Do item. All right, and so we want a bunch of these. So we could sit here and we can like copy and copy and copy. But now we've got all these different HSACs or whatever. So it's better if we create something that represents this to-do list item. We're already refactoring. So we'll do struct. I think this is how you do it. Real quickly. I like to just go look at my own GitHub repos to see how I did stuff in some of my other apps. If I forget how to do something, I mean, I could just Google it or I could look at the documentation, but I like to just go look at my stuff. I'm gonna look at some of my views. Let's look at chat view. Okay, so yeah, I think it's just struct to do item is a view, and let's just say let text is a string, and then our body some view stack text in it. How this works. Okay. Now in theory we could get rid of these. 2 buzz balls, nice. So then we're gonna have a list. Let's put some of these in here. All right, and now what's cool is that we can like do other stuff. Like we could put a, oh look, check mark. Put a little icon in there. That's not done yet though. I want circle. Yeah. Put a little circle in there, just for fun. Well, just so that we can see that these are different. Okay, so now we've got a partial mock-up of a to-do list app, but there's no title in here. We want a title. How do we do that? We do it. It suggested we do it. Nope. See, it's wrong. We do it. Is there must be. Where's the new AI stuff live? Anybody know off the top of their head? All right. How to use Xcode AI features. Three months ago, it was a long time ago, July 9th. How about this? No. Here. Xcode. Reset code. Stay organized. By out. Well, that didn't tell me anything. Go back to what's new in Xcode. What is it not telling me? Oh, it's a video. Okay, well, none of this. Oh, I'm making a to-do list app. You were right here at the store. There. What? Sorry, what was your question, Joseph, about text view? Text view? So yeah, my goal for this stream is just to just build an app for fun with Xcode on stream. Not anything that I'm like serious about. Well, so titles are part of depending on how the app works. It's like oh, it's navigation title. There we go. Navigation title. This is supposed to go in here. We're not in a navigation stack. There we go. Okay. Sure. You have to donate another 10 subs to be able to get your own to-do list items. Okay, all right. Okay, what else do to-do items need? To-do items need like another little icon. They need a spacer. They need an image. This name. They don't need a trash icon. They need an info icon. Circle. You're right. You're right. Xcode AI thing. There we go. Okay, so they need that. This really needs to be a button that does something. Let's replace it with a button. Image. This info image should be image. Circle action. Is the right thing? Image resource. All right, let's look at the docs for button real quick. We're gonna use the real docs. Action sign in, label sign in, button sign in. Oh, system image. Here, this is what I really want. I want system image info circle. And then the action. How do I launch a different view? Who remembers how to launch a different view? Let's go back to this crap. What the hell is going on over here? Holy crap. Look at all that shit. Let's go to a simpler view. Views, chats, chat view. Tap on. Chat list is. Oh, it's a navigate. You make one in a navigation link. I don't want the whole thing to be a navigation link. All right, fine. Now we gotta just start Googling shit. SwiftUI button navigates to other view. This is like one of the most basic things. Screen cover. Let's do navigation stack navigation. Oh, okay, so I think these questions are out of date. How could it possibly be so hard? It just is that way, whatever. Alright, well. All right, navigation link value. Is it programming fun? Destination. All right, title key. This. This isn't what we want. Maybe it is what we want. No. I mean, if we want it to work like the iOS to-do list app, then what we want, obviously, is you want to be able to edit it. So yeah, now I see what you. Well, I don't know. That's not what you were talking about. Your button inside a navigation. Feel like if I was, oh, I've got 4 viewers now. Well, shit, and you're watching me flounder with just linking to a different view. It's impressive. But yeah, it's been a while since I played with SwiftUI, so I apologize. This is what real programming looks like. You sit here and you Google, and then you feel like a big idiot, and you look at like really out-of-date information. This is what I have Perplexity for. See what Perplexity says. VPN. In SwiftUI, how do I make a small button navigate to another view in the navigation stack? Yeah. Using text, I want an image. All right, so either way, I need to switch over to navigation link destination. So navigation link destination. For now, we'll just do struct to do detail view text string and then view, and we'll just put the text in it for now. All right, so destination is to do detail, and the item should be text, and the label should be an image system name info circle. Well, I don't want it to do all this other stuff. Is there like a style playing? Is it because it's probably because it's in a list? It's like adding the extra navigation stuff. To disable navigation link styling using one in a list. Button style. Oh, there we go. Style. That works now. Leave it. I mean, if Xcode is saying that's how it works, is that really how it works? Didn't seem to do anything. Oh, and I put to do item here, to do detail here. So now it goes to the to do detail, but it's still not what we want. We have to put this on here. Usually stuff like that modifies other stuff goes inside, but apparently not. Okay, so we're still working on just giving us a little navigation link. I should probably just use I should do it the other way. Should do this other solution, because I've done this before where, well, that's annoying because you have to like pass the thing to the other thing. All right, so what if instead of a list we use a lazy VStack, which is probably what I should have done in the first place. All right, there we go. Now we've got a button that leads to a thing and it doesn't have any inherent styling in it. The only downside is that now we've got this whole situation where we're basically having to like build the list functionality from scratch. But this is, if you're working with database content, it's probably better to use the lazy VStack, because if there's 400 million to-dos, the lazy VStack thing will do some cool stuff. All right, so, but we need to like restore some list styling. So we'll just use Perplexity for this again. Why not? We're still here in Perplexity. If I switch a list to a, in SwiftUI, if I switch a list to a lazy VStack, I lose a lot of inherent styling. How can I restore it? Hopefully it just gives me a list of a bunch of modifiers that I can use to restore the styling. So I want to keep that styling for now until I want to restyle it in some other way at the very least, because this is ugly right now. I don't like it. I don't like it. Background color. Yeah, let's oh yeah, this needs to be in a scroll view. Let's forget that. So we can scroll. Now probably, there we go. Now it's at the top. So partial fix there. Now we want the scroll view to have that background color. Didn't do anything. Add dividers between items. Sure, why not? To do that, we'll probably want to put this in a VStack. I'm moving fast, I apologize, but this is more for VOD people, you know, deep down. There we go. Now they all have dividers. That's not the inset view though. It'd be cool if I could do the inset view. I don't think it knows what I'm really swipe actions are not available for lazy VStack. Oh, we lose some functionality there, which is too bad. So maybe we need to figure out how to turn off the okay, so the Notes app derp, I should here, I'll just share my screen here. Oops, didn't bring up the settings. So in the actual real Notes app, when you tap one of the things to edit it, that's when it shows the info button. And when you tap the info button, it brings up a modal, or there's a name for what this type of screen is, but it doesn't use a navigation. It doesn't use a navigation stack to bring it up. So that's, you know, I'm almost getting ahead of myself a little bit. So we're gonna revert this. Already getting a little ahead of myself. And then we'll revert this stuff. Okay, all right. Get rid of this divider. We don't need this VStack since we just need the one H stack. Okay, so far It's interesting to automatically put the divider under the thing. What does the real notes, real reminders list look like? Yeah, it basically does that. There's like a date and stuff. Let's add a date. Looks like the date should go right underneath the name, but not offset the button. So really, we want the VStack back, and this is interesting. Okay, so what we really want, we want the circle. Let's stick with just the one H stack for right now. We want the text. We want all this other stuff to be in a VStack. So let's use the shortcut here. If we right click, usually we can do, there we go, embed in VStack. Because this, you've already watched me embed and unembed stuff in VStacks and HStacks 300 times in the last 30 minutes. So we'll start using these shortcuts. Embed in VStack. What I want to do, I wanted to embed all three of those things in a VStack, not just the one, but okay, whatever, you know. Oh wait, do I? Yeah, I want these three things to be in the VStack as an HStack. Makes sense on a second. All right, and then I want more text down here, and this should have a date. If it has a, you can have to-do list items that don't have dates, right? It's not. Oh yeah, of course. Okay. All right. So this some will have dates, some won't have dates. So this looks all screwed up so far. I think it's because this needs to be in an HStack. Spacer. We want this to be. Look at that. But I want the color to be, how do you do this? Secondary. Table color. Background style? There we go. There we go. Now it's a little darker. That looks nicer. Some of these don't have a date. Now we'll say date. Date's optional. Put a question mark on it. I'm not going to explain what optionality means right now. It just means that some things don't have dates. Figure out how I do this. Tag. How do I do a conditional? How do I make a display of a SwiftUI element conditional on whether a optional? You'd think I'd probably done this before, but I don't think I have. Oh, obviously just using it. Okay, well, whatever. If let date text should be the date description. Yeah. See what that does. Okay, and right now all our stuff is broken. So this one we need a date. Let's put in a date. I do now. This one, date, no. Date nil. Date. Can I do tomorrow? That'd be cool. How do I date for tomorrow? Yeah, I want this to work like Copilot. I don't know if it does. To do then date for tomorrow. No, this doesn't. This isn't how Xcode Copilot thing works, huh? Is there a way to trigger it? Okay. That's annoying. Keep asking Perplexity stuff. I pay for this shit, so I should use the fuck out of it. I'm gonna burn down all the forests of the world to get the date that I want. This looks stupid, but I'm gonna use it. Whoops! What's that? New item, text, edge again, and the date. There we go. I didn't mean to actually like launch it on my phone. Is that what I'm doing? There we go. Okay. All right. So now we just need to fix this date format thing. This description do? Got a boring date. Formatted. Oh, that's probably nice. There we go. Okay. Format, but I don't want time. No time. Get rid of the time. Yeah, I feel like I should be able to just like talk to, like, let me select this and say do some shit. Shouldn't there be like a, yeah, it says what's new in Xcode? Code assistant. The complete feature list. Here we go. Okay, so you still can't just like chat. You can't chat with it like it's GitHub Copilot. It's not. It's not like that, which makes me sad because I like that a lot, GitHub Copilot. So yeah, I'm still gonna have to use Perplexity to do a lot of other stuff. I don't want time right now. I'm just gonna do dates without times. I guess I don't need to do that. And in the actual app, you have times. So yeah, we'll leave the time for now. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm spending way too much time just trying to get little interface details done, but it seems like the name of the thing, and another thing. All right, so right now we're gonna keep mocking up some UI. We're not actually wiring anything together yet. Like right now, you can't add to-dos, which reminds me, let's add a add to-do button. Do that, navigation, button, navigation bar items. Never remember how to do a lot of this stuff. We're going to go back to, there we go, toolbar. There we go. Toolbar. Content. Search field. I don't. Does that actually work? Yeah, that doesn't work. Why is it offering code completion that doesn't work, man? It just pisses me off. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. An add button. Thank you. Good night, Brendan. Good sleepy sleeps. The bed bugs bite. Button. The system. No. Yeah. There we go. Okay, we got a plus. Plus. Now we're gonna set up bar to do's. Say it's an array of things. Fill it with these. More refactoring. All right, and then there's a way to make this list load up the stuff. Yeah, that works. It made it seem like that's how it works. Do I make a list up here? List. Do a for each. Is there an easier way to do that now? List. Do's. Okay, so when I'm like doing this wrong. You need to abstract out the data. All right, let's back up a couple steps. Before I start refactoring this way, we need to do something a little bit different. All right, we shouldn't be storing. Your data model right now is in our view stuff. So setting up a little more abstraction. What we really want is well, let's say we want plus to do. We're not doing SwiftData yet. We're just doing a mockup. So this has let text string let date create initializer. Okay, and then to do item is actually going to take a to do equal to do, and then it's going to get these from that to do. Let to do date. Date. Let date equals to do date. There we go. Right. And then this we need to just this do equals to do. Do that for this, all this other stuff. Need to grab this, do it here, do it here, fix the spacing. Okay, everything's all out of whack now, but whatever. I'll just fix this, this. You should format correctly. Okay, and nothing's visibly changed over here. But what's cool about this is that now this should be a list of to-dos, and we should take all of these to-dos. We're still just simulating the data model for our app while we build out the interface. Because the fun part is just getting, you know, like sometimes it's just fun to get the interface working. And then once you get the interface working, you can wire up all the other stuff. Once you know that what you're working on is something that you actually care about. So this should be full of our to-dos now. Formatting's being weird. Did I miss something here? There we go. So now we've got our to-dos, so now we can redo this list. This list should be a list of to-dos. Should be the to-do item. I don't care about the tab stuff yet. Is it still working? Nope, it's not working. To-dos needs to be identifiable. So we need to, this means that this class needs to correspond to, well, codable. Just put that in there. It needs to correspond to something that makes it identify itself. Oh, this isn't working. All right. All right, we're gonna do this another way. There's another way to, like, I'm kind of doing that over here where I'm doing ID as self. I wonder if I can hack that in here. Way better if I just, like, there needs to be a way to just work. Believe it. I think this conforms to, oh, did it work? It worked. Okay, so just to show this working, we have this add button. Let's add a to-do list item to it when you click the add button. So I think I just need to do to-dos, append, there you go, no date. Self is immutable. So silly. All right, what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Or if I have to have like a function do it. Oh, it's probably because this is in the view. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done all this stuff. Oh, it needs to be state. Sure. Ah. All right. To-dos, append. Gave me a good append. There we go. Does this work now? There you go. All right, so now we're adding to-dos. It's as easy as that. I mean, the downside is that if we fully restart our app, we're gonna lose all this. But that's not a big deal. We're not worrying about that yet. Right now, we're just trying to get the interface working still. Basic interface, adding to-dos. We probably want to be able to edit the name of the to-do. So yeah, we need to figure that out. See, it is to maybe, should we implement that? Should we get the button working next? We already got, oh, we don't have this button working. There's a lot of stuff that we can still get working before we dive into the data model, but we're approaching an hour, so I wonder if I should just, should I start working on the data model now? Should I keep messing around? I guess one thing I want to get done first for as far as rigging up the basic UI is I want to be able to check that, say that a to-do list is done or not. All right, so we'll do let complete. We'll put a Boolean on it, which defaults to false. that makes sense, right? That when you first create a to-do item, there you go. See, the other one disappeared because we've reset the state of the app. All right, so to-dos can be complete. And then down here, this circle should depend on whether the to-do is complete or not. Let's see if I can remember the Swift ternary. Got 6 viewers, that's cool. Hello, 6 viewers. Oh, I got an extra follow. Somebody followed, but I didn't get an alert for it. It says I got 21 followers. I appreciate that, whoever you were. Okay, so I always forget about how I'll just do the normal thing I do. Swift ternary. Hacking with Swift, great website. I got my start programming iOS apps many years ago doing hacking with Swift. It was the first thing that I used that really got me over the hump. So I really recommend it. The guy who does it is a British guy named Paul Hudson, and he's fantastic. You might see him sometimes on Reddit as Two Straws. So shout out to him. I owe him a lot. I owe him my whole life. All right. So anyway, image system name circle. So we want this to be based on whether the to-do is complete or not. So to-do complete. If it is complete, we want it to be checkmark circle, and if it's not complete, oh, see, it auto-completed that for me. All right. Thank you, Joseph. It was a pleasure seeing you in the chat, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. All right. So now whether or not a to-do item is complete should depend on, or whether the circle's filled should complete on, should depend on whether the to-do is complete. Right now, none of the to-dos are complete, but let's see if we can do something real quick. Let's turn this into a button. Button, system image, key. Oh, system image. So circle, and then the action. We are operating on a to-do complete toggle. Can't toggle. Oh, this needs to be a var. My bad. So now we can toggle that. So if I hit this, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Okay, so that's... Oh, it's because this isn't state. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening here, so I must be doing something wrong. I feel like... I really just want to rig this up so we can see it functioning, but you know, sometimes things are complicated. Work button style plain. I don't want text in there. I just want a system image. So annoying. Okay, alright, so my button's not working. Or at least the thing that I think I'm trying to accomplish with my button isn't working. And there's probably a couple reasons for it. One is that there's all sorts of weird state stuff in SwiftUI, and I'm probably doing something wrong in regards to like changing stuff from within the view. It might need to be like a binding. Binding? To-do item. Work. Yeah, it's hard to figure out in this specific window, like whether what I'm doing is because I'm silly or here, we'll do some debugging. We're gonna actually build this onto the simulator. Pro, why not? We're gonna build this onto the simulator and do some logging. Log, how to log out, right? So we're gonna build this and run it in the simulator just so I can see what the heck is happening when I hit this button. And see if anything's happening. It could be that nothing's happening at all. It also could be like maybe I'm not saying like follow this. You know, like I feel like I keep forgetting that all these different things need to be like state. Abstraction should be inside the view. That's for sure. All right, where's the simulator? Taking its time. It says it's running, but nothing's running yet. There we go. Okay, if I hit this button, what happens? Hello world is true. Hello world is false. Okay, so it is updating. It is updating the object, but the object is not updating the interface in state. Do I need to do this? No, that's not right. I do this. That's not right. What am we missing? We must be missing something very obvious and basic in regards to why this isn't updating. Seems like I'll just ask Perplexity. Object with a Boolean value that is meant to update the interface in SwiftUI when it is toggled, but the interface is not updating. What am I doing wrong? Make sure it says SwiftUI in here. Shout out to the 2 silent viewers out there who I don't know. I hope I'm making good background noise. Observable object, I mean, that's technically what we want. But I don't know if that's... Don't we just have observable now? Here. Switch this to this. No. Observable is not identifiable anymore. Okay. Published state object. Dumb. Really it? Leave it. Where are we at? Where are we at? Nope, still not doing it. What am I doing wrong here? Obviously doing something very wrong here. Copy. Will be a binding. Should be a state object. Should be observable object. Nope. It's not working. So that's not the right thing to do here. All right, well, I'm getting mired down in something that doesn't really matter because I don't really need to worry about this just yet. So it seems like we're probably at a good point where maybe I should just start actually trying to build the real objects that are going to support this app. So let me get rid of some of the stuff that's not working right now. Do item. There. Is this working again? I do. I had this working and then I broke it. Get rid of this debug stuff. Just get everything back to a working state. We all happy again? No. Working fine before. Working now. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got this sort of mess. Is there an icon only button style? Thing. Image only. Thing. That's perplexity. Again, I want a button that's only a system image. Good. Function. Really it? And it closes. The label. Hey, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, we figured something out. I'm assuming this still, doesn't do anything, but we've at least got our mock-up back to the way it should be. Some of these, let's just randomly set it to true or false. I wonder how we can do that. Do this. Init, meanwhile. Self-complete. True. No. So now some of these should be complete when it reloads, so that we can see the check mark working. There we go. But really, they all ended up complete on that reload? That's suspicious. Not impossible. Suspicious. Do a build over here on the actual simulator. I mean, not that this isn't the simulator, but okay. I gotta grab some water. Be right back in 1 second. Right. All right, I'm back. All right, so next steps for the app. At this point, we have a basic interface that allegedly has the stuff that we need in it. It's rigged up a kind of weird right now, and it doesn't really do anything, but you can add to-dos, and sometimes they're complete, and you have a little info button that's supposed to do something. And yeah, I feel like we're already at a point where it's probably time to start thinking about the SwiftData model. So step one is I did not create the project with SwiftData enabled. So I can go to Google, and especially Hacking with Swift and Paul Hudson, he probably has a guide on how to add SwiftData to an existing project. But I don't want to go looking for that. So I'm gonna do something in a different way. I'm gonna create a new project that has SwiftData in it, and I'm gonna compare the differences between my boilerplate project and what Xcode develops, or what Xcode creates when you create a new project. Because that's fun, and we'll see how Apple thinks we should do it. So we'll do a new project. We're gonna do an app. Doesn't matter what it's called, and we'll say we're using SwiftData. And we're going to use CloudKit. But maybe we should add that later. We'll do that too. We'll add CloudKit support later. There's some things we have to think about with CloudKit, but we won't have to worry about that just yet. All right, so I'm going to create Sprock 2. Sprock. Okay. All right, so right away we see that it adds a whole bunch of stuff. It actually gave us it gave us a lot of stuff that would have been helpful for us to have known, and it basically already it gave us a whole framework for creating a to-do list item and everything. Look at that! Look at that! How cool is that? You can hit edit and delete stuff that way. Wow, isn't that mind-blowing that I just spent a whole hour and 15 minutes mocking up basically what Apple gives us for free here already? But whatever, let's not dwell on the futility of this endeavor and our entire existence. Let's just get what we need and move on with our lives. So, I mean, it might help to understand a little bit about how SwiftData works, and that is an exercise for the viewer. The main thing to understand, let's see if I can summarize what matters about SwiftData. SwiftData, imagine that you have a tiny little database server that's running inside your app, and you interact with that database server through a thing called the model context. In the olden times, before SwiftData, you did a lot of abstraction around kind of trying to hide this model context away because core data is not thread safe. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. It just means that it's really finicky and shit can break very easily depending on what you're doing. SwiftData doesn't fully hide away the model context, but it kind of tries to hide it away as best it can. It can't fully hide it away, so you end up with your main view's got this model context thing. All right, so first up, we've got to go into our app name, our app file, and this has some setup stuff in it that kind of lays the groundwork for that database server running. So we can just copy this out of here. Well, first we want to add SwiftData. Import SwiftData. And then comparing these two things, you can see that there's really only two big differences. Yeah, one is there's a shared model container. Copy that over. And just trying to look at this real quick. Well, right away it says the schema's got these items in it. We don't have any items yet. We're not carrying that over yet anyway. I mean, maybe we should, and we can just base our to-do list item on it. So yeah, let's leave that there. But this is app specific. Everything else is boilerplate. There's nothing in here that refers specifically to our app, so we don't need to do anything with it. The other thing that's different is this model container tag that is on. I'm calling these tags. I'm not really sure what the proper name for these things is. To me, it's like a dangler. I don't know. Either way, this model container tag on our window group is basically feeding the context, the database server, to your app at this point. All right. So right now we're pretty good. This item self, we need to do something with this. So let's go look at the item model file in this app. So item Swift just has a couple things in there. So we're gonna want that to be named to do, I guess. We'll just name it to do, why not? All right, and so we'll create a new empty Swift file called to do. And we'll basically copy this from here. But our to do item, we know that it needs a couple other stuff. That's very eloquent, Brad. All right, so, you know, it'll need var name, which is the string of the text or whatever. Var due date can be a date, that's optional. Timestamp will just leave as timestamp, but we don't need to initialize it because timestamp should be just set to date now. Automatically. The name should be string. You're never going to create a new to-do item that has a date on it already. A date's probably going to be something you add afterwards. That's how it works in the Apple to-do list app. You hit the add to-do and it basically sticks it in there and you put a name in it, and after you do that, it's kind of a thing. Date is not a thing. It's data. Oh, date's just what a thing from. There we go. Sure. All right, never mind. Ignore whatever I was saying there. All right, so self name should be name. And yeah, what else is in here? Final class, nothing. All right, we need to rename this to do. So make sure I'm not missing anything. Go look at our mockup to do item. Text, date, complete. Oh, obviously our to do item needs whether or not it's complete. Or complete. Boolean, and by default that's false. Seems cool. All right, we're getting an error because of my other to-do item. So right now let's go in here and we're getting rid of this. Go away. Okay. What else are we missing? So we've got the things from here. Now in content view, we have a bunch of stuff going on because we're now pulling the to-do items, or in this case, the items in the sample app. Pulling those out of core data. And then let's see, what else is we doing? Content view and memory true. Yeah, we need to copy this over. So in content view down here, it's another little thing that's different. Is it's feeding the model container for the to-do item into the preview, because your preview that's running in the sidebar over here is a completely separate instance of the app that has slightly different startup like activities or whatever. You know, when you build and run the app on your phone, it's giving you the model container from this this setup, but when you're running the preview, it's giving a different model container, or that can have different settings and stuff. You can basically change it around so that it just lives in memory or whatever. Okay, so we basically have all the boilerplate that's needed to get SwiftData running, but our app's not working yet because we still need to actually start feeding that new SwiftData model into our app. So we're back over here, kind of copying and pasting and comparing and contrasting what's in the sample app that Apple gives us and what's in the app that we're building. So import SwiftData because we're using SwiftData now. We're not going to worry about these different structs that I made yet. To do is now, it's now a name, a complete toggle, to do, due date. Okay, so that should fix all that stuff. Where it gets interesting is now in our main view. So you'll see that our content view in the sample project has the model context that I was talking about. This is basically what wires everything. It wires SwiftData into our app. The next thing here is that there's a query. This little @ symbol is denoting like a Swift macro thing that does some special stuff. But the gist is that this is how we're retrieving our items in this. And in our app, we're retrieving our to-do items from SwiftData. So we don't need to copy and paste that. And that's going to replace this here. This array. We're replacing this state array with query to-dos. Oh, sorry. Private var to-dos. And it is a list of to-do things. Why is this erroring here now? Let's try to run this. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's probably because this is an error. We can't do that. Okay, so yeah, we can't just add stuff to this array willy-nilly now. Okay, all right, so our app is running. We don't see anything, and it's doing nothing because there's nothing in our database. And that makes sense. So in this preview, we can wire up how you add to-do items right now, which I should do anyway, but that's not going to help us every time the app refreshes, because every time the app refreshes, it's going to have like an all new, or every time the preview refreshes, it's going to redo the stuff. So, I mean, maybe we should do that as a teachable moment. So right now we've got this plus button and it should be doing something. And look, it's already helping us out. So let to do equal to do, model context save to do. I mean, to me, I'm assuming that's all the code we need, but what's going to happen? Argument takes no. Oh, we don't need to do that. To do save. Is that how that works? I don't even think we need to do a save on it. What if I just do let to do equals name new to do? Nope, that doesn't work. All right, so let's say let's go back over to our sample project, because we already looked at this and we saw that our sample project has a plus button and it's already working. So why am I trying to figure out how to do it myself? All right, so we look over here at the toolbar and it's got an action. It's called add item, and the label says add item, and that looks a lot like what we got here, kind of. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on a second. Okay, well that was total bullshit, because as soon as I thought I was gonna sneeze, it went away. Okay, all right. So anyway, I don't care about the edit button. So we want this add item button. We're just gonna copy it and we're gonna overwrite what I have in here right now. But we want this to say add to do. Add to do, add to do, and it's got the plus symbol. All right, so now we need to, what's this add item function? Private function. Add item. No flexing in the video. You don't like that? You don't like, sorry. All right, so we're just gonna copy this function over. It looks like this lives inside of our main struct thing. So I think that we put this over here. All right, and we're gonna rename it to add to do. And then we're gonna replace this stuff. It's got to do, and it should have a name, new to do, why not? And then model context, insert new item. We're gonna rename this. There's a super cool shortcut in VS Code. It's Command D to select similar things. In VS Code, it's Command Option E. So let's say I want to rename two things at once. The pro tip: I double click new item, I hit Command E however many times it takes to select all of the ones that I want to change, and then I can just type in text in the multiple places at once. This is a fantastic time saver. Option Command E, write that down. All right, so with that in place, in theory, if I hit this button, look at that, we got to-dos. We can add 100 million to-dos now. Look at that, and we can scroll forever. We can, oh look, we can complete them. They're working now. That button's working, even though that's the wrong button. So real quick, let's just fix that button because it's making me feel funky. So we're gonna comment out this. That button shouldn't be doing that. And we're going to move this here. Is everything still working? All right. Oh, and so notice I changed a bunch of stuff. The preview refreshed, and now all of the to-dos that we added are gone. And so that's kind of what I was talking about a minute ago, where we have to go and do some stuff to the preview. But first, right now, while we got this working, let's add some to-dos. Now we can hit this, and look at that. We can check and uncheck to-dos. And in theory, this is all saved in the database, so let me build and run it on the simulator. Got like a cable down by my feet. All right, so if I add some to-dos here, let's ignore whatever gobbledygook is happening down here. That's probably some sort of stupid Apple error. So now we have a bunch of to-dos, and if I build and rerun the app, they should still be there. Oh, they're not. What? We're supposed to save on close. What happened? What's happening? What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Wonder if I did something wrong. I have to do model context save. Where in my other projects do I do model context save? Let me search this. It seems kind of like I do it a lot of places. So I just need to do try model context save. All right. Oh, I hope nobody heard that. All right, so now I'm gonna add a bunch of to-dos. I'm gonna check off the third one, and then I'm gonna relaunch the app. All right, so it looks like I need to tell it to, I need to tell it to save whenever we change some stuff. So like this over here, do try model context, but it doesn't have the model context. Try to do. All right, so now if I reload, yes, thank you, Scuba Steve, you were correct. I was not saving my changes. All right, and let me refresh. Boom. Okay. All right. So now on an actual device, if we ran this on a real phone, we can create to-dos. We can check them off. They don't go anywhere, but we'll get to that. And it will save this. You can't rename them or do anything else yet, but our data model is working. But we will notice again when we relaunch the preview over here, it doesn't work for us, or it's not saving it. And it's because our preview down here is using a model container that it exists only in memory. We might be able to turn that off and have it save data model, but that's not how you're supposed to do previews, because these previews are supposed to be consistent and you know, just something you can rely on. And so what you can do is you can feed data into your preview, and there's a couple ways to do it. They progressively get more annoying as your data model becomes more complicated. We can see down here that they're not trying to do that. They're not doing any of that. So we're going to do what I always do, and I'm going to go look at how I handle this issue in some other places. I'm pretty sure that I'd use this on the character screen. Why? Go away. Go away. Oh, I'm using that I'm using like a preview container thing. All right, well, in that case, we'll just ask Perplexity. How can I populate some model objects into my previews model containers? Up to 7 viewers, that's cool. Thank you for watching. If you're actively watching, or you're just listening to some good games, League of Legends, lo-fi. Okay, so yeah, it's normally this complicated, I'm pretty sure. Alright, we're gonna do all the complicated stuff it says to do here, which is we're creating a custom preview container for our data model that we can then feed into our preview. So we're going to create a well, maybe I'll just put it here for now. We're just gonna copy some of this code. Main actor, preview container, it's a to-do, sample object to-do with the name of sample to-do. And then we feed this in here. What's happening here? Maybe this needs to go someplace else. Done this before. All right, let's just go to hacking with Swift. You know, we give Perplexity one chance. If it doesn't get it, we go to a real person. All right, here we go. All right, see, this is easier. He's giving us the cheat way to do it. So we're gonna do this. Copy this over. Set this to our to-do object, and then we're going to this in here. Is everything still working? Come on. Waiting for this little thing up here to stop spinning. Okay, all right, and we can add to-dos. All right. So yeah, what we want is we want there to be a couple. Is that really it? I don't believe it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, why didn't it insert? It didn't insert it. All right, what we really want to do is we want to do this. We want to create a couple. So this will create 10. I'll let to do equals to do. We'll leave it that way. Insert to do. Now our preview should end up with 10 to do items. Nope, didn't work. What happened? What did I break? Oh. Return, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, and some of these we want them to be to do complete. There we go. Complete, true, false. We're gonna do the same thing that we did before. We're just gonna create an array with random true falses. If it fails, we'll just have it set to false. There we go. So now immediately, as soon as I did that, we've got some random completed to-dos here that are in the list. I think it would be cool if when you complete the to-do, the name of the to-do item gets struck out, right? Isn't that something that the cool kids are doing? So let's just do if to-do complete, else. So if it's not complete, and then how can we do strikeout? Is there a way to do strike through? Awesome. Right. We're already making tons of progress on the actual functioning UI of this thing. We've got our preview set up with some sample data, which is nice. We've got our data model work. Oh, did I not run it since I last checked off a to-do item? All right. Hold on a second. Let's make sure our data model's working properly. Okay, they're done there. I don't know why when I did this last time it didn't save, but let's not worry about it just yet. Everything might be functioning fine. Okay, so we almost have a fully functioning to-do list app right now. We're already there, right? I mean, it's lame that the to-do list items aren't going away once you've completed them. But we can do that. We can fix that right now. Let's do that right now. Okay, this button needs to do something else. We actually need, so this is where I feel like SwiftUI gets kind of complicated because the interface is based on state. And so, oh, actually, maybe this is easy. Let's try this out. What happens if I wrap this in with animation? Let's see what happens. Complete toggle. So the main thing is that we don't want this list to show completed to-dos. So we can update our query here to only show non-completed to-dos. And we do that by adding something called a predicate. All right, so we're just gonna Google SwiftData query predicate. How to filter SwiftData results with predicate. Can hacking with Swift. Fantastic resource. Looks pretty straightforward, right? Let's replace our whole query with this. We're gonna do query, and we want to add a filter. Filter, and then you have this other weird stuff. Don't have any idea why all this crap is like this. But look, it already knew what we wanted to do. Give me the code. Is completed false. Easy peasy. And then this is a to-dos. That is an array of to-do items. All right, so now when our interface updates over here, it doesn't apparently have knowledge of my model, which is annoying. Now when this preview updates over here, we're gonna have a shorter list of to-do items because any of the done ones being shown there, which is cool, I guess. If we complete one, it fades out. Oh, that's cool. See, look, it automatically add a cool animation. We add some more. So functionally, it's complete now, if that's what you want. I feel kind of like I would almost prefer it if the to-do items were sorted by name and then status, and like finished to-dos went to the bottom of the list, just while we're building the app, because it just feels like it might look cool. So now we just need to know how to sort a query. Let's see if this is how. We'll just go back. Query sort. Sort movie name. All right. We want multiple. There we go. Okay, so that seems like what we want. We want sort, And we want an array. We want to sort based on an array. We want sort descriptor. We want complete. Does that work? We don't want to filter. We don't want to filter anymore. Let's not filter. We're gonna get rid of the filter, and we're gonna sort for now. Okay, that didn't work. I think because it doesn't need this. No, it needs this. No? What did I break? Well, let's back up. Query, sort. Give me something autocomplete. Autocomplete me something. Autocomplete me something. Xcode. Wow, it's auto-completing code that isn't how it works. That's nuts. That's crazy that the Xcode autocomplete has no idea what it's doing. Okay, sorting by name's cool, but that's not what we want. We want sort by that's sort by sort descriptor name. That should, is that gonna work? Why does it act like that's gonna work? I don't get it. Tagging with Swift wrong. Okay, there we go. Okay, we've got sorting by name. Sort by complete. Yeah, how do you sort by a bool? Can I sort Swift data query results by a bool? Pair making the type bool to oh. All right, whatever. We're gonna do what this person says. So this person's adding an extension to the Boolean data type that makes it comparable. I don't understand why bool isn't comparable by default, but we'll just go ahead and we'll add this and do our, we'll add this thing over here because this is really where it matters. We don't need this warning. Screw them. All right, so we'll come back over here. Is sorting by complete working? It is. Awesome. Okay, so we also want to sort by name. So let's add another sort descriptor to do. Now it should be sorting by completeness and name. Okay, awesome. All right, and if we complete one, it should move. It's cool. That first one doesn't move slick, but this is cool. I mean, this makes for, to me, this makes for a better demo while I'm building the app than just making the thing go away. Like, we can make the thing just go away later. We know that we can, but right now it's cool to see these move around. You know, to me personally, I feel like it's cool to see these move around. Once we're actually trying to give the app to people, then we can make the design do the thing that it's supposed to do, where by default it'll shoo it away. But for right now, it's pretty neat that it's you know, shuffling this stuff around, in my opinion. Okay, so where are we right now with the app? We are pouring water down our face. That's what we're doing. Okay, so our app almost works. We're not at 100% functionality yet because obviously you can't actually name the to-dos anything. It creates a new to-do and then it's just there. The new to-do is showing up down in the bottom of the thing with a name already. That's not ideal. We'll do a quick and dirty fix right now for this without actually building a cooler interface. We will do something. We will solve the issue of the name right now in a hacky way, and we will do it by having our add button bring up like an alert thing. Alerts are fun in SwiftUI because you have to use state to do them, as you do with everything. So I've done that before, but we'll just use hacking with Swift. Hacking with Swift. Show text input alert. Okay, so we're just gonna start copying some code from hacking with Swift. So to show an alert, you need two things, especially an alert with a text field. You need a state variable that governs whether or not the alert should be shown. So that is this state variable showing alert, which defaults to false. And then you need a state variable that's going to hold the inputted text that goes into the field, or that goes into the to-do that we're creating. So we've got those two things now. So the next thing we need is this action needs to do something different. I guess add to do, we just need to with animation. Well, we don't really need any. We don't need any of this. All right, so we're getting rid of add to do and we're replacing it with showing alert toggle. So now when you hit the button, it will toggle the state variable showing alert. Once that state variable is true, SwiftUI will then display the alert that is corresponding to that thing. We haven't added that yet. So right now we're going to add that actual alert. If we run this right now, nothing's going to happen when we hit the add button because we haven't actually said what the alert is. Okay, so we're hitting add, nothing's happening anymore. So now we add the alert to this view. I think we add it here. We could add it to the button directly. I guess we can add it to the button. It sort of makes sense maybe to add it to the button. So alert, title key, and is presented. Yeah, I think this looks right. Okay, title key is add to do. Is presented is tied to that showing alert variable. And then the actions. Looks like there's a couple other things it's doing here. Hello, how many hours a day do you stream and how often? Please write to the chat. My sound is not working. Well, gosh, I appreciate the request, but I don't know how much I can write to the chat while I'm also doing this. Hey, I try to stream a couple hours a day, a night, a few days a week. I don't have a set schedule yet. For this stream, I am just putting together a simple app for funsies. We'll be posting the VOD on YouTube and the project on GitHub. Stream it. You can watch later if you want. Okay, all right. Anyway, so let's see. It's got a thing that we put some stuff in. We're just gonna copy this text out of here for now. And then it has a message text. Please input name to do item. This is very verbose and very lame. All right, and then submit. We need to make a function for this. Private func submit. And submit is where we are going to create a new to-do. And the name is going to be our state variable for name. And then don't we have to model context insert to do? All right. Anyway, yeah, I have to do this model try model context save. What's happening here? Let's see if this works. Hit a thing. Enter your name. Just type some text. Hit OK. There we go. Now we've got our to do. We can. Yeah. Why does it have so many different? Please input a name. Okay, so we don't really need text field. So that's the placeholder text is what's appearing here. So this is buy groceries. Please input a name for your to-do item. I don't feel like we need this. To do buy groceries. So yeah, let's type in buy groceries. So buy groceries is in there now. I think if we wrap this with animation block, it will get some nice animations when we save it to the database. I don't know if this is true or not. Test. Text is still in there. Got to clear that out. All right, so we get some animation there. That's cool. We need to clear out name to null when you've added it, because we don't want, see, we add test and then we add again, we don't want the text in there. All right, so got rid of that. It's one small bug fixed. How cool is that? Uh-oh, can add an empty one. That's not good. You don't want to add an empty one. So obviously guard, no. Yeah, let's do guard. Name is empty, else return. Yeah, so it auto-completed something useful there, where it's just saying guard, if name is not empty, just return. So now if we try to submit an empty thing, it should do nothing. Yeah, it does nothing. But we should also add a cancel button. I wonder if that's how you do a cancel button. Roll cancel, that's how you do it. All right. Just so people aren't confused. And if we hit this, nothing's happening. What happened? Did I really break it? Everything was working fine. Let's try to build it for real. Oh, okay, there it is. Why is it not working over here? Hit cancel, goes away. Hit OK, it goes away. That's fine too. Okay, there we go. It's working here. So I don't know why it wasn't working before. Okay, so this isn't like a cool interface, but we can say we need to buy groceries. Sorry, we should do that over here. Groceries. Here we go. It's at the top. Move it down there, moves down there. If we undo it, it goes up. That's cool. Look at that. It's one of the nice things about SwiftUI is that we get all of this functionality with these animations and stuff basically free of charge. I mean, that's almost the whole reason to use SwiftUI. I mean, aside from the fact that you have almost no other choice aside from using UIKit, which is fantastic and beautiful and wonderful, and I miss it. It's not gone, but I miss working with it. I like working with SwiftUI, but there is some stuff you deal with SwiftUI that I don't appreciate that much still. But clearly, if I'm sitting here on stream and building a whole app in 2 hours just for funsies, there's definitely something to it. Okay, all right, so we have, I mean, now we have basically a fully functioning to-do list app, don't we? You can't rename to-dos. This info button doesn't do anything yet, but you can add to-dos, you can complete them, you can name them whatever you want, do stuff. It sorts them alphabetically by default, which probably isn't what somebody wants. So maybe at this point, because we have the base functionality working, I think that we need to expand our organization around what is annoying now. I wrote a post on my blog at amiendo.net. I talk about how I build apps and how like my pattern is basically I build an app until I get the base workflow that I want to support working. And so in this case, I almost feel like we're there. The goal was to build a to-do list app, and like the MVP, the minimum viable product for a to-do list app, is add to-dos, complete to-dos. Past that, any features are like extra. They're just something that makes life nicer for the end user, and they're usually solving annoyances. You know, like at some point it will be annoying that the app sorts all the to-dos alphabetically and I can't manually reorder them. So I feel like I should write that down somewhere. So if I'm ever in a position where I'm like, what do I do next? What do I work on next? I can look at that list of annoyances and I can say, oh, I want to make it so that you can rearrange items. What if you don't want to mark an item as done to get rid of it? You want to delete it. So I need to add a delete option. You can't rename to-dos right now, which isn't the end of the world, because you could just mark the to-do as complete and then make a new one that's got a new name. But that's annoying. So renaming the to-do seems like probably another thing that we need to add to the list. I added support for due dates to the data model, but there is no support for due dates yet. So where are we going to store all of these things that annoy us? I'll use GitHub. So I need to make a GitHub repo for this project. Let's call it, there's no template. We're going to call it what the name of the app is, which is Spriok. Nope, it's not Spriochet or whatever that is. Spriok. Okay. To-do list app I built on Livestream. We're not going to initialize it with the README or any of this other stuff because Git probably already made a GitHub Git repo over here somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we're not going to worry about it just yet. All right, so we're going to create this repo, and then GitHub gives us some help, useful, helpy instructions. All right, folder cd Spriok. If I type git, what happens? Oh, whatever. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure we have a Git repo here. So I just need to I need to copy this stuff down here to add GitHub as an origin for the repo. Okay, and so if we refresh this, there we go. There's our project. We haven't committed anything since then. So I don't like to, I'm not against it, but I'm not a big fan of interacting with Git from the command line. And so I use a tool called GitUp. And it gives me like a cool graphical interface for interacting with Git. And for bigger projects, so like for example, my work repo, GitUp looks like this. And this might look pretty crazy and weird, but I promise you that it's a great way to visualize a repo and the stuff you're working on. So if you watch me program on stream, and I do this for a long time, you'll become very familiar with this GitUp interface because I like it. And I interact with it through keyboard shortcuts. These little buttons up here correspond to command 1, 2, and 3. And so you can build real good muscle memory for switching between these tabs real quickly. The third tab is a stash, so you don't really need to worry about it. But switching between tabs 1 and 2, 1 is your tree view, and 2 is where you see all of your stage commits and stuff. So we'll do a commit right now. Basic to do functionality is in place. Commit it. And then when you want to push to GitHub from GitUp, there's this little button right down here. There's almost certainly a keyboard shortcut for hitting this button, but personally I like hitting the button. It feels good to hit a button. And now you can see that we have 2 little nodes down here in GitUp. I don't think I can make this bigger visually. Yeah, I don't think I can. No, that's not right. Anyway, so the GitUp map, it shows us 2 little nodes. One's our initial commit that was created. This is created automatically by Xcode when you initialize the repo. And then the commit that we made right now is the second little node on the trail. And we can hit spacebar to jump into the contents of that commit. And then if we refresh over here, you can see there was a commit a minute ago. Bring this back up. CD coding. I'll bring up VS Code in this folder because I want to create a README file. You'll see that I have 2 different terminal shortcuts set up. One you can install when you're installing GitUp, or it's like installable through the setup menu in GitUp, and it's the ability to hit GitUp period and it opens GitUp in that folder. The second one is I have a similar one for VS Code, where if I'm in terminal, I can type code period and it'll bring up VS Code set to that folder. These are just handy shortcuts to launching apps instead of having to like load VS Code and then go find the folder you want to open. If I'm already there in the folder, or I know where it is and it's faster for me to navigate. It's like way faster for me to navigate to a folder in terminal than it is to do all the other stuff. All right, so anyway, the whole point of being here is that I'm going to create, that was weird. I'm going to create a README file, Spreoc. Spreoc is a to-do list app for iOS built with SwiftUI and SwiftData. I am building it live on stream right now at http://twitch.tv/amiando. Good luck trying to spell that based on how I said it. That's it. All right, so I'm gonna add that README. I'm gonna go back over to GitUp. I'm going to stage the README, add README. I'm gonna write a very descriptive commit message because that's good practice. Always write a very descriptive commit message. They can save you in the long run, because there may come a day years from now when you're an old man or an old lady or an old whatever, and you're like, why did I make this code change? Why did I change this stupid bit of code? What kind of dumbass would have made this code change? And then you can go into your Git history and use a feature called Git blame, and it shows you who modified that line of code and all the modifications that happened to it, and it's got your commit messages right there. And so you might be able to go back in time and see that you were the dumbass who wrote that code. But if you wrote a good commit message that explains it, you know why you did it, and now you can be on your side again, and maybe you won't think you're such a dumbass for writing that code. You'll be like, oh, it's because of this thing that I totally forgot about, you know? Or maybe the situation has changed and the code's no longer relevant. Either way, moral of the story is Brad tells you to write detailed commit messages like add README and basic to-do functionality is in place. Okay, those aren't very exciting, but the point is we've got a GitHub now. It's got a README. We need to give it a license. There's a shortcut in GitHub to do that. You hit add. Not there. You don't do it there. Oh, here, add. There's another add button. 2 different add buttons on screen at once. Okay, anyway, add, create new file. There's a shortcut in GitHub. When you're creating a new file, you can type in license. And this little text pops up here that says choose a license template. You have unsaved changes. Do you want to discord them? Discord? Yeah. All right, so this took me over to a page where it's like add a license. So now we can look through the different licenses that are available. Usually all of my projects I put under the Mozilla public license because I like Mozilla, I like Firefox, and I think they have, I mean, reading this is permissions is weak copyleft license are conditioned on making available source code of licensed files and modifications of those files under the same license. Copyright and license notices must be preserved. Larger work using the license work may be distributed under different terms and without source code for files added in larger work. So this is just very permissive, and it says you can go ahead and use my code wherever you want, and you can do whatever you want with it. You can go and make money with it. You could clone my whole app and put it up on the App Store yourself and sell it, but you are legally obligated to publish the source code for your app as well. So if your app, and this, it gets a little wiggly with the however a larger work thing, but in theory, if someone took one of my apps and they started making improvements to it, they would be obligated to publish those improvements online in a way that I could go and pilfer them for myself. I mean, that's sort of the gist, is that like, they're not going to take my app and use it as a foundation to build something else, and I'm not going to benefit from it. But there is some wiggle room with that larger work thing. If someone actually took my app and they built something that was significantly bigger, that clearly went beyond the scope of the original app, at that point I couldn't demand from them that they give me the source code for the parts of the app that aren't related to the original project that they took from me. One of my last apps, in Y'all, I used the GNU public license because it kind of it gets past that. It stops that from happening, where it's like you can do whatever you want. You can download my app and make it better and turn it into a big thing. But if you used my app as the basis for your own app, then you have to open source it. You have to keep my copyright in there. You have to keep my license notice in there, and you have to publish the source code for that larger work. If you don't care about people using your code and making money off of it and making it better and not sharing it, then that's where you want to use the MIT license. This basically just requires that you get credit, but you can do whatever you want and you don't have to upload the source code anywhere. I don't know why I'm talking so much about this, but it's part of the process of creating a GitHub repo, especially if you're going to make it public. You want to put a license on it so that you at least have calibrated your own feelings about what you want people to do with your project. So in this case, this isn't an app that I'm going to put it on the App Store. I'm not going to try monetizing this app. It really doesn't matter to me at all. So unlike most cases where I would use the MPL 2.0, I was just going to put it on the MIT license. But why break with normal convention? Let's just do what I normally do, and I'm gonna license it with the MPL 2.0. So this loads up the whole license. I'm just going to commit it, create license, commit directly. Now I'm going to go over to GitHub because I want to pull that license file down locally. And in GitHub, the way to do that, there's a shortcut. You can like do it here where you do fetch all branches. But I've just gotten, I have the muscle memory. I hit Command Shift F. And here we are. Now I've got the branch, and then to pull it down, I have to hit this little arrow. There we go. So now I've got the license locally. If I look in here, I've got the license file. Usually these license files, and this isn't super important, as long as the license file is in the root of your repo, it's not a big deal. But if you come down to the bottom of the Mozilla public license file, you'll see that there's this little bit that says that here we go. It says if you, nope, that's not it. Where is it? Where does it say that? Let's look for Exhibit A. There we go. Source code form to which the initial contributor has attached the notice in Exhibit A. So in theory, you're supposed to go in and modify most of your source code files to have this like notice at the top. So I used to do this. I used to be real anal about making sure that this was in my files. Oh, that's not as many spaces. There we go, 2 spaces. All right, that looks nice. So we're just going the whole way. We're gonna add this to our different files so that people know this file belongs to Brad Root. It was created by Brad Root and it's licensed under the MPL 2.0. And if you try to steal it and do something with it, well, you're a bad person. So there we go. We've got another commit. And license notices to code files. And we're going to push that back up. So now if we look in, oops. We look in here. Why is it trying to refresh? We look in here and we look at the code. Now it's got our license notice up here on every file. So that's cool. Okay, so the whole reason that we're in GitHub, backing up, rewinding a little bit after going through all this other nonsense, the reason that we're in GitHub is because I was saying that for the next steps of the app, what we really need is to start cataloging the various things we need to do. Right now I've been building the app very fast and loose, just going off of my whims, because what we're trying to accomplish is very simple. You know, we're just trying to make, what's happening? Where'd my canvas go? Weird. I must have closed it at some point. But anyway, the goal for the last 2 hours was to get the basic workflow of a to-do list app working, and we did that. We can add to-dos, do more stuff. We can mark them off. The whole thing's not supposed to be a button, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We'll fix that later. It's funny that that's doing. It's really not supposed to be a whole last button. Anyway, try to ignore that. We've got the core functionality down. I'm repeating myself 500 times in a row now, but we've got the core functionality down. We need to start keeping track of the stuff that we don't like about the app and we want to fix. GitHub has this projects thing. This is basically this gives you a Kanban board where you can do stuff with it, but I don't like it. I don't like their projects implementation. I never have. They've been trying to get it right for like years and years now. And it's not good. I don't like it. So we're just going to use issues. We're going to make an issue for everything that bothers us. And this works really great in certain situations. I mean, it's a good thing to just get into the habit of using issues to track bugs and issues in your product or in your project. But one reason that I really like it is that I use an app that kind of creates a to-do list interface for your GitHub issues. So as per what I was talking about earlier, you know, something the app is missing is deleted to do. So we don't really need to add any text there. We can just say there's an issue. The issues you can't delete it to do. Let's add another issue. Rename to do. Can't rename it to do, so let's add a new issue for it. All right, so now I've got these 2 issues. Oh, we add a third one, but we'll add the third one afterwards. So this app that I use is called Tasca. I'm gonna bring it up real quick. It had a different name before this, and it's a paid app, so disclaimer. And this isn't necessary. I'm just showing you this because I like this app a lot and I pay for it myself, but it's not necessary to anything that I'm showing you. I'm just plugging it because I like it. And so this app gives you a nice interface to your stuff, your GitHub issues. Let me find, I have a lot of repos. All right, we'll find SwiftUI. So now it's here and we can open it up. All right, and what this does is it downloads your issues and it gives you a nice to-do list style interface for them. So like if I open up one of my other projects, let's see, how do I do that? in repo. No, oh, there we go. Okay, all right. So one of my other projects in y'all, this is how I've organized all the issues in it. I have some under milestones v1.2. I can click on these and I can look at them or whatever. So right now we just have 2 issues in there. I said we wanted to add another one. So we'll add another one, and that's reorder to-dos. So this sits here for a second and then it syncs that issue to GitHub. So if I refresh over here, now I've got this over here. So now I don't need to worry about going to the GitHub website anymore. I have my interface for keeping track of stuff I want to do over here now. So that's nice. That's a nice thing. Okay. What are some other things that this app probably needs to be more feature complete? Aside from being able to delete a to-do, rename a to-do, reorder the to-dos. Oh, due dates. We want setting due dates. Let's just call this one due date functionality, because there's multiple things to this that we should probably take care of all at once. And we might as well add a little description down here and say set due date, remove due date, UX for when to do is past due date, because that's important. We want to have some sort of thing in the interface that says when the due date is past the original due date. What else should we do? We know that we want to implement SwiftData. So, or not SwiftData, implement CloudKit for syncing your to-do items across different devices. Anybody who's watching, you got any other ideas for how we can expand the to-do list app to make it better for users? Let's say that these milestones are important for to create a milestone, and we'll create it for first beta. And move all of these into first beta. All right, so these are all first beta milestones. We could create a milestone that's for like stuff that might seem outside of scope, you know, like imagine being able to organize your to-dos into to-do lists, which is a feature that's in the Apple to-do list app. So we'll add a task for that. We'll say lists to do multiple lists for to-dos. So we're not going to put that under first beta because that seemed like a feature that might come a lot later, or after we do all this other stuff. Once we get all the other stuff functioning and that core functionality is working, then we can worry about like bigger objectives, like having multiple lists and things that kind of are more like power user support, you know, like that supports, you know, specific workflows. Okay, so I feel bad that you've just had to listen to me like talk for the last 20 minutes and I haven't been doing any coding. I've just been sitting here talking and farting. I haven't had to hear the farts too much. So it would be nice if I could do something else code related before we wrap up the stream, because I'm nearing my limit on my ability to talk for such an extended period of time. 2.5 hours is a long time, and technically we've accomplished what the goal of the stream was. The goal of the stream was to sit here and build a simple to-do list item or a to-do list app, and we've done that. It's not beautiful, it's not 100% fully functional yet, but it does the thing that it's supposed to do, and it persists between launches. So within 2 hours, we've stumbled through building a functioning app. So congratulations. If you somehow followed along with me good for you. I don't know how you would have done that with how I move. But anyway, I think that's it for me tonight. I'm going to I'm going to edit the, the soon screen out of the VOD. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. I'm going to link the YouTube video in the GitHub repo, and I don't know, whatever else I have to do. So if you were watching and you want to refer later, yeah, it'll be up on YouTube, and I'll find some way to link it from the channel page. People are already dropping off, so it's nice to know that you were listening. Thanks for hanging out. I will pick up this project on my next programming stream. I don't know if that'll just be tomorrow night or some other night. It's not scheduled right now. I'm kind of just doing it as I please. But either way, there will be a part 2 for this to-do list app where I get into some of these other more complicated things, because I think it would be cool to just kind of keep this project going just as a fun lark until I have a real project that I want to focus on. So again, thank you so much for hanging out and watching me build this out. I took a nap, so I might be on later, play some games, but probably not. I'm kind of tired of talking. So on that note, thank you so much for watching, and good night.